Alright, you guys, it's a history-making night for Barcelona as we have just become the first team in La Liga history to win every single home game in a season. The cherry on top being that we are already champions, of course, and Robert Lewandowski had an opportunity to say farewell to the Spotify Camp Nou crowd. Let's talk about it. But first, if this is your first time coming across one of my videos, hi guys, I am Just Max, and on this channel I talk football, La Liga, the Prem, UCL, and of course it's always going to be Vizca Barca for me, as I am a Barca fan. If this is something you're interested in, please like, subscribe and share. Leave me a comment of how you're feeling after watching that emotional farewell from Robert Lewandowski to Barca fans. But before we get to talking about that, let's look at the team that Hansi Flick put out on the pitch tonight and how well they did. It was Joan Garcia in goal, Koundé, Eric Garcia, Gerard Martin and Joao Cancelo in the backline for Barcelona. Pedri, Bernal and Gavi were the midfield, and Rafinha, Fermin Lopez and Lewandowski were Barcelona's forwards. And honestly, I'm not even going to lie to you, I really wanted a goal from Robert Lewandowski today, especially after the announcement that he will in fact be leaving the club came out yesterday. So I really was looking forward to a great performance for him. I will say that Barcelona started out this game really well, in my opinion. Rafinha did have a shot that tested the Real Betis goalkeeper, and in fact I think we limited Real Betis chances to almost nothing in that first half. The goal did end up coming through a free kick that reminded me of exactly the one that Rashford scored from in El Clasico that essentially crowned us champions. It was the same positions, the same angle. The Real Betis goalkeeper, he does make a bit of a mistake. I don't know where he was trying to go, but to my benefit, it ends up going into the post because he leaves that side totally unguarded. It was kind of like an unnecessary step that he took. I don't know why. I would never understand that. But Barcelona are 1-0 ahead, and honestly after that point I felt like Real Betis, they did not really have enough energy. We did continue to pressure them. Barra just shot at the goalkeeper. I felt like he had to make a bit more saves, and I really liked the intensity at which we approached the game, because even though we were already champions, some could say we had nothing to play for. The pride of knowing that you are the first team in La Liga history to win every single home game is something that I would say was worth playing for, and certainly the players agreed with me. And I really wanted us to stamp that fear of authority back into teams coming back to the Camp Nou. I wanted us to really win this game so that we can send a message. I mean, we have been sending this message all season long, to be fair, but I really want fans of other teams, and I want other teams coming to the Camp Nou to know that once you're coming to Camp Nou, it's almost a foregone conclusion that you are going to lose the game. This was the kind of fear factor that we had where we had the likes of Messi, Neymar and Suarez leading our attack. When teams stepped into that atmosphere, the aura was suffocating. So to be able to say we are the first team in a season to win every single home game, I just know that next season any team that is coming into the Spotify Camp Nou will be coming so with that bit of memory in the back of their mind, knowing that this is a team, this is a ground that is essentially a fortress and has been defended to eternity. The second half though, I do not think that we played particularly well. I think to some degree that we were comfortable taking a 1-0 lead, you know, calling it a day, we're already champions, whoop-de-doo. But I want to take Hector Bellerin at this point, because he said, you know what, let's give Rafinha another chance to make another goal. And he passes the ball straight to Rafinha in a very dangerous position. And this goal particularly, it reminded me of the 7th goal that I think Rafinha scored against Newcastle in the UEFA Champions League, where it's kind of like they just haven't gotten on the ball for so long. They've been defending, so when they finally were on the ball, the brain was just so exhausted that the player just made a crossfield pass to Rafinha, who was like, okay, thank you, if you insist, I will then go ahead and score. That's exactly what happened today, because Hector Bellerin, he had no reason to pass the ball cross-field to Rafinha, who was bearing down on goal, and you know, it was just so jarring, so out of nowhere. But again, when things like this happen and it happens in my favor, I am grateful. Thank you very much. And the composure for Rafinha to be able to take this goal and score it is something that I very much enjoyed, because I really wanted my Intensity King to remind people that he is him. Like this season, unfortunately for Rafinha, has been one that has been been riddled with injuries. So many people have forgotten what Rafinha brings to the team, or many people underappreciate who he is as a player for FC Barcelona. This game was another opportunity to remind people that when Rafinha is fit and healthy, the intensity that he brings, and of course the poacher's attitude and mentality that he possesses, is something that we can never do without. There was a bit of a scare. Barcelona did end up conceding a penalty. I did not think that was a penalty, but what do I know? I'm watching from home. I saw the replay. I don't think that Gavi committed a foul there, but the VAR and the referee decided to make things a bit more interesting, and on the 68th minute awarded a penalty to Real Betis. Isco steps up. And that kind of pissed me off because I really did want that clean sheet for Joan Garcia. Unfortunately, it's a very, very good penalty from Isco. We do end up going, it's still 2-1 to Barcelona. It's a little bit of a nervy finish. I think at this point, Real Betis were thinking they could come out and do something sensational. This is where enters the chat Joao Cancelo, because there was a bit of a reshuffle in our lineup. Hansi Flick did end up bringing on Alejandro Balde, and I think that Hansi Flick may have done something here, in that because Alejandro Balde ended up coming onto the pitch, Joao Cancelo ended up pushing up, and a new position has been unlocked for Joao Cancelo. Joao Cancelo can play the 10. Who could have seen that coming? Who could have seen that coming? Nobody. Actually, everybody. I remember making a video one time and I said, whoever is the coach of Joao Cancelo in his earlier career days that profiled him as a defender needs to be arrested very quickly, because Joao Cancelo is very good going forward. His defensive abilities can be wishy-washy, but going forward, he's him. And today in that 10 position, when he picked up the ball and they dared him to shoot, they kept on backing up, and he said, you know what, if you keep backing off against me, I will go ahead and take a shot. And he did, and I think it's the best goal of the game. No cap. And I might say this now, Barcelona needs to organize their finances, to make sure that Joao Cancelo stays long term. I said it. I said it. Why? Because it's a big deal for me to admit that, because when Joao Cancelo was coming back to Barcelona, I was like, I'm not really sure about this one. Not because I don't think that he's a good player and he's a good player going forward, but more because I thought, going back was a little bit of a... But you know what? He's been solid. He has been really, really solid. I live for him this season. And the goals that he's come up with, the assists that he's come up with, has been inspired. Period. Point blank. Anywho, Barcelona go on to win the game 3-1. On the night, we get that record. The first team in La Liga to win every single home game in the season, and of course the cherry on top being that we are the champions of La Liga. Our home form this season has been impressive. It is what has powered us to the trophy, and I live for it now. Robert Lewandowski, today was essentially all about him. Robert Lewandowski day. He did not complete the game. I think it was on the 83rd minute when he was swapped out for Marc Casado, and he got to soak in that atmosphere, both from the players on the field who went on to hug him and embrace him, and and from the fans who were like chanting Lewandowski. And I just love to see him getting all of his flowers, because like I said in my shots yesterday, which I'm going to link somewhere here, he did not have to come. He did not have to come to Barcelona. We were down and out. He came to our team at a time when we had no money. We were just a team with a bit of history and a dream, and he came. And this was Robert Lewandowski at the height of his career, in his kingdom in Bavaria with Bayern Munich. He shouldn't have come, but he felt like he could contribute. He could bring Barcelona, put us back onto the map after Messi had left. And when I tell you, he has delivered on that promise. In his speech to Barca fans yesterday, he said, the mission is accomplished. Barcelona is back to where it belongs. This is exactly what he had done, and I agree with that statement 110%, because back then, before the coming of Robert Lewandowski, it was very, very difficult for me to sit down and watch every single game of Barcelona football. Why? The team was very bad. We were in our peak tomfoolery era. We weren't basically we weren't fun to watch. We were like, what are we doing here? But then he came, he took our ragtag band of misfit and he turned us into La Liga champions. He scored 119 goals for Barcelona, appeared in 119 games for Barcelona. I think that's sensational. 3 La Liga titles in 4 years, 3 Super Copas, 1 Copa del Rey, and 2 minutes away from the UEFA Champions League finals. What a sensational return on investment. I think the best part of Robert Lewandowski for me as a Barca legend is the mentorship he brought to our dressing room. We had a bunch of kids, and we needed a veteran presence, a presence that could show this team what could be possible if they sit their head down, worked hard, and focused. And that's exactly what he did. His career has been the elongation, the longevity of it. His career is what emulating. Behind Lionel Messi, behind Cristiano Ronaldo, there's Robert Lewandowski. There's just only those 2 players who is ahead of him. And being able to show the young guys like Lamine, Gavi, Pedri, Olmo, well, not really Olmo, but Fermin, being able to show them what is possible if they stay the course, if they remain focused, is exactly why I'm happy and I'm grateful to Robert Lewandowski. Of course, he's made it very easy for us to continue watching Barca football week in, week out, because we have started to win again. So I love the fact that he had the opportunity to say thank you to the fans, to say thank you to the team. And in his speech to Barca fans, of course, he says he might believe in the club right now, but of course, he's going to carry the club in his heart. Once a culé, always a culé. And I just wanted to say thank you to this legend. He is a bona fide legend in my book. The only thing that I have regret is that we did not end up winning the Champions League with Robert Lewandowski. And, he might be saying goodbye to his career in Europe. Other than that, he has been sensational. We were counted down and out. We couldn't sign players. We didn't have one-to-one rules and all of that stuff. But he took our bunch of misfits, our bunch of kids, and he brought us to the highest of heights. And we've learned to enjoy football. And it's not just about the football, I should say. It's also about the fact that we've been able to enjoy content from him, the foolery of it, or like he's just like without your favorite uncle, like the off-pitch shenanigans has been, sensational. The way he's been able to integrate himself with a team that is averaging 21 years of age, despite being so far ahead. The humility of it all, to be able to learn, unlearn, and relearn, to be able to integrate and understand how these teams want to be mentored. I love it. And the fact that they have impacted on him as well is something that I'm so proud of. I'm so happy for him. I wish him all the best in future. I don't know where he's going yet. It's not been announced, but I will be sure to check in on him. If he does go to Saudi Arabia, I will be sure to check in on him. If he does go elsewhere, anywhere that is not an opponent of Barcelona, he will get my support forever and ever. But that has been it for me. Of course, Rafinha ended up being the man of the match with 2 goals in this game. And before I go, congratulations to Rafinha, Pedri, Lamine, Kubasi, Eric Garcia, Johan Garcia for all making it to the La Liga team of the season. That's 6 Barcelona players who were named to the La Liga team of the season. That goes back to that mentorship I was talking about again. And I just love seeing every season these guys growing into their own, becoming bona fide star. And here's something that people don't tell you about this Barcelona team, is that they do have the best defensive record in La Liga. Yes, whenever you hear people talk about Barcelona, they talk about the highline. How it's very easy to score on Barcelona, but when you go down to business and look at the numbers, Barcelona has actually conceded the fewest goals in La Liga and has actually had the most clean sheets in La Liga, thanks to Johan Garcia as well. And that speaks to what can change for you when you have a proper goalkeeper man in your post. So congratulations to the 6 players. You guys did that, and I look forward to watching many of you continue to develop in this team. So that has been it for me. Let me know what you thought about this game. Who was your favorite player? What was your favorite moment? I'm looking forward to hearing all of that and more in the comment section. But until next time, bye guys, and Vishka Basa.